Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 4. So just before San Diego Comic-Con came around this year, I did a video going over some character descriptions that had been sent out in some casting calls. And this was obviously to fill the roles of these characters on Season 4 of The Flash. These character descriptions that were sent out were for the Mechanic, the Thinker, aka Clifford DeVoe, who was like the frontrunner to be the villain due to the couple of hints and name drops we got at the end of last season, and the other character was actually the Elongated Man. Then a few days before the panels for all of the DC TV shows, I think it might have only been like a day or two before they happened, a big rumor of another character being introduced into Season 4 of The Flash came up, and that was around a character simply known as Breacher. And well, at the Comic-Con panel for The Flash, they actually did reveal that some of these characters would in fact be showing up on The Flash Season 4. But they didn't actually stop there, they also announced who would be playing them. Arrow also had the same sort of thing play out as a casting description had been sent out for Richard Dragon to show up in Season 6. And then they went ahead and announced at their panel that he would be showing up in Season 6, but they didn't announce who would be playing him, unfortunately. So we're going to have to wait a bit longer to find out that information. So the first new character confirmation we are going to go over is that of the big bad main villain himself, Clifford DeVoe, aka the Thinker. Now, I doubt this announcement comes as too much of a surprise due to the pretty goddamn big nods towards the end of last season towards DeVoe. The Thinker will be played by Neil Sandilands, who is best known for his previous work on The Americans, as well as a fellow CW show in the form of The 100. The CW and Warner Brothers did release like a press statement for all of these announcements, and this is what they had to say on Clifford DeVoe, aka The Thinker. Arriving in Central City as next season's central supervillain, Neil Sandilands will play DC villain Clifford DeVoe, aka The Thinker, a metahuman with a mega mind who embarks on a season-long battle with the Flash that pits the fastest man alive against the fastest mind alive. A true genius, he's devised an intricate plan to fix all that he deems wrong with humanity. Now, the cool thing about getting Neil Sandilands on the show as DeVoe or the Thinker is that he sort of does look like him, which is always a massive plus when it comes to casting a character from another form of media, whether it be, something else, but in this case, it's a comic book. Now, obviously, if you remember back to the trailer for Season 4, which shouldn't be too hard to do because it only came out a couple of days ago, we did see that Samuroid, who is like that samurai thing, it's called a Samuroid, and he wanted the Flash or people would die. So you might have to think to yourself, okay, is this Samuroid under the control of DeVoe, or is he working for DeVoe? Because we know that DeVoe's got something against the Flash, and maybe wants to get rid of him so he can, have this plan play out of his. So that could be the case, or the Samuroid could be doing his own thing, and they might have some other ways to slowly introduce DeVoe, might I say, and the fact that they've cast him does make you think that he will appear within the first 6 episodes, unless they just wanted to get the casting done as early as possible, book in the actor, and they thought, well, we'll announce him now just to get people excited and sort of get a hint or a taste of what DeVoe will be like on the show. But seeing that in the description they do say season-long battle with the Flash, it would make you think that he's going to appear in at least the first 6 episodes at some point. Maybe not a massive part, but just introduced so we know who DeVoe is. The next character confirmation to go over is one that I'm pretty sure most of us are not that familiar with, including myself. Like, I had no idea who the character was when they announced it, and that is the Mechanic. Now, this is going to be a female character. Originally, I think it's meant to be a male in the comics, but it's going to be a female on The Flash, and they will be played by Kim Engelbrecht, I think that's how you pronounce it, who does seem to be an actress who's been pretty dedicated to the Sci-Fi Channel of late. One interesting thing is that she's actually South African, and so is Neil Sandilands, who will be playing DeVoe. So I wonder if they will just use their normal voices and accents for the roles, or, they'll put on like an American thing. I guess it would be pretty cool if we had these two villains working together that had the same accent. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I doubt they'll use their actual accents, but I guess it'd be pretty interesting if they did. But anyway, this is what the press release had to say on the character known as the Mechanic. Kim Engelbrecht has been set as DC character The Mechanic, a highly intelligent engineer who designs devices for DeVoe. As DeVoe's right hand, she's the truest of true believers who'll stop at nothing to help him implement his plan to fix humanity. An interesting thing to see play out with the Mechanic in Season 4 will be whether she is willingly following DeVoe, or if he is essentially making, or should I say, forcing her to be a follower of his and help him with his plan. In regards to the devices she would be making for him, they will probably be like a mixture of these two things. The first would be to help him with his powers and abilities, affecting as much of Central City as possible, and maybe even the Flash as well, to try and dampen down the Flash a bit. So almost like signal extenders, if you know what I'm talking about, or if you know what those are. And the second would be to help his body. DeVoe will be ailing in Season 4, which means his health isn't the best. So the mechanic will most definitely need to help him with this if he's going to stand any chance of, being a massive threat. Because even if like his body's like, degrading and becoming very weak, he's got this mega mind that can still do a lot of damage. But if his like body is trying to take energy away from his head, if you know what I mean, and his brain and stuff, then he might need some sort of device to sort of help his body out, so his brain and his powers upstairs don't feel the need to compensate for the lack of power downstairs. And the last character confirmation to go over is the one that got me the most excited and pumped up for what we're going to be seeing in Season 4, and that is for the role of Breacher. Now, Breacher will be played by none other than Danny Trejo, the acting legend, like the cult icon. You should know him. He's been in stuff like Machete and Machete Kills and stuff. And then Spy Kids, if you grew up with that. Like, Spy Kids was a big movie when I was a kid. So, yeah, Spy Kids. And he was also in the first Black Ops Call of Duty game, if you remember that and you played it. I just think it's really awesome that they got him for the role. Because this dude, Danny Trejo, is 73 years old, which I had no clue about. I thought he was in his 60s at the latest or something like that. But anyway, this is what the press release said about this new character of Breacher. Danny Trejo has signed on to play the role of Breacher, a feared bounty hunter from Earth-19 and the imposing father to interdimensional bounty hunter Gypsy. His mission is to prevent any interdimensional traveler from threatening life on his planet, especially his daughters. But yeah, I think we are all thinking the same thing. Cisco is so screwed. I mean, meeting a girl's father is scary as hell on its own, but when that girl's father is Danny goddamn Trejo, yeah, Cisco mate, good luck with that. Now, I think what we're going to see happen with Breacher is that he's 100% going to be seeing Cisco as a danger for his daughter. They might even play it out that Cisco and Gypsy might team up for something and Gypsy gets injured in the process or her life is endangered. And, Danny Trejo's character of Breacher is witness to this or learns of it. So I think that's something that's definitely going to play out. But, I think Cisco and Gypsy will stay together, but Danny Trejo's Breacher is just going to be a wall that's just trying to get in between them two. One thing that I think would be pretty cool if they do reveal in Season 4 is that if Gypsy became a bounty hunter to almost like impress her father, or possibly even to one-up her father, one of the two. And maybe that's why she takes her job of the bounty hunter so seriously, because we saw in Season 3 that she was like pretty adamant in getting stuff done in her job. So it wouldn't surprise me if they link these two things together, and that's why she took it so seriously, because she's either one, trying to impress her father, or two, trying to beat her father at his own game, because I'm assuming he's been a bounty hunter for most of his adult life. Now, the last thing to talk about is about other announcements, because you would have known at the beginning of the video, I did say that Elongated Man was on the casting call along with the Thinker and Mechanic, who actually ended up getting cast. So where's the Elongated Man announcement? And obviously this could end up in two options. Either it's just waiting, maybe he's not going to appear for a bit in the season, like they might not need to cast him for a couple more weeks. Or they could have scrapped the idea of having him on the show just because maybe having him on there would be way too heavy on the CGI budget, because if you know his powers, he can stretch very far. Elongated Man, it's going to be a heavy toll on the CGI budget. So they might have run the numbers and thought, okay, is it really worth having him on the show? Do we really need to have Elongated Man? So maybe they might have dropped that idea, or maybe they just couldn't find the right actor to fill the role. Maybe they were looking for a specific person to play the role and they couldn't find it. But I think we'll have to wait. If we haven't got it by the time the season started, then I don't think he's going to be on the show at all. But, maybe wait a month or so, and we might finally get an announcement that they've cast an actor to play the Elongated Man. And we should get more announcements throughout the season as well, like when they announced Gypsy and when they announced Tracy Brand and stuff like that. They were like, after the show had already started airing. Like, we'd already started watching the season on TV when those characters were announced. So, yeah, casting can be left until like halfway through the season, because some characters might not appear until like episode 15 or later. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could leave a like. Let me know what you think of all these new characters, or new villains, might I say, joining The Flash Season 4. Are you excited to see Danny Trejo? What do you think about the guy that's playing Clifford DeVoe? Do you think he looks like him? Because I think he 100% does. He almost has like a villainous look, and he looks like DeVoe from the comics, especially the newer ones. So I think it's actually really good casting. But yeah, just leave all of your opinions in the comments section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys, and goodbye.